Okay, so in this section we are going to be looking at rectangles. So rectangles, a lot of us know what they are. So we know that the opposite sides are congruent, opposite sides are parallel, and then also we have four angles which are each right angles. So this is a rectangle. But there are also some key traits for rectangles that we want to look at. So let's look at those traits. So the diagonals are congruent. So before we had any parallelogram, they bisect each other. Well, now these diagonals are going to be congruent. So there we go, we got the English flag there. Diagonals are going to be congruent. Number two, opposite sides are congruent. And parallel. So that's part of the definition that we already looked at. We also know that opposite angles are congruent because it's a parallelogram. Number four, consecutive angles are supplementary. Number five, the diagonals bisect each other. And number six, all four angles are right angles. So most of these, these are just traits for a parallelogram. So there's really not much more different when talking about a rectangle. So as before with parallelograms, you're going to have questions about the on the SAT, the ACT, about these types of questions. So what you need to do is you need to know these different traits, because these are the questions that will pop up on the SAT and the ACT that the test makers will think that you don't know. So understand these traits of a parallelogram when working with rectangles. So for example, quadrilateral MNOP is a rectangle. So if MO is 6x plus 14 and PN is 9x plus 5, find x. So MNOP. So MNOP. So MO is this. So that's 6x plus 14, and PN is this. That's 9x plus 5. These are diagonals. These aren't sides of the rectangle. So even if they gave you a picture, you need to realize, well, wait a minute, the diagonals for a rectangle are congruent. So I'm going to have 3x is equal to 9, so x is equal to 3. Here, same deal. And we want to find x. Well, we know that this is a right angle. So 4x plus 5 plus 9x plus 20 equals 90 degrees. Ignore the y's for now. So here we get 13x plus 25 is equal to 90. So 13x is equal to 65. So x is equal to 5. What about y? Well, if we wanted to find y, what type of angles are these? Oh, they're alternate interior angles. So we know that 4y plus 4 is equal to y squared minus 1. this makes it a quadratic. So to solve a quadratic, we have to move everything over to one side. So y squared minus 4y minus 5. This is a quadratic we can factor. So we get y minus 5 and y plus 1. So we set both of these equal to 0. So y minus 5 equals 0, y plus 1 equals 0. So we get y equals 5 or y equals negative 1. But will this work? Well, if I plug this in, I get negative 4 plus 4, which is 0. So this angle is 0 degrees? No, that doesn't make sense. That's what we call extraneous. So y is only equal to 5. So if you ever have a quadratic, make sure that you are able to plug your answer back in and get the appropriate response. So that's it for rectangles. So, your previous geometric knowledge of rectangles is probably good, but this takes it to the next level and adds some more complex algebra.